All right, this is the Kendall Show. That's my name. Joined as always by the lovely and very pink today, April D. Gregory. April,
Hi, Rob.
you're on a pink swing. I think you had pink on last week,
Really?
too, of some sort. I really didn't picture you owning any pink. That's very girly of you.
It is. It's kind of weird. Sometimes I have a pink thing going on. I don't know. It's weird. You wouldn't think it would be me.
Well, is this because you're in like this romance now?
Yes.
I mean, have you found your inner girl in you because you're in this intense romance? Hey, look, if there's photos on Twitter, it's a fair game to discuss. I mean, I think you guys make a great couple. I think you're very cute together.
Aren't we?
I give that a thumbs up. I saw the photo and I said, now there's a couple.
Aw, thanks, Rob.
Now would you describe? I know you're not big on talking about your personal life, but again, if you've thrown the "Aren't we cute together" photo up on Twitter, you're fair game to talk about. I've only really done that once. And that was an egregious mistake.
Right.
I usually try to keep my relationships more on the private side, too. So I hope yours turn out better than mine did.
I think this is definitely on the way to being better than you. I think we've actually surpassed better than yours.
But at the time, it all seems roses.
Right.
You know? But I feel like once you've made a decision, you are more apt to make a better relationship choice than I am. I feel like you have a better vetting system than I do.
I think I do, yeah.
Mine usually evolves around, ooh, she's purty. I feel like you actually have some questions for the boyfriend
it's a
in question.
thorough process.
Right, yeah. So anyway, congratulations on that. I'm happy for you, and I look forward to many more photos. Or was that like a Tom Brady Giselle baby photo? Like that's the only one we're gonna get, or will we maybe have some more?
There's even been a couple on Instagram.
Well, see, I don't have Instagram.
Yeah, so
I would like these to be a Twitter, Facebook photo if you could.
Right.
I don't know if you copy those to Twitter or Facebook. How that
well,
works.
yeah, I sent it to Twitter and Facebook from Instagram. So yeah, there might be. It's not going to be just all pictures, but there'll be probably here and there.
Right, because it's big news.
And plus, we're adorable together, like you said.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm totally sold on that. I want that relationship. I'm envious of that.
We'll find you one.
I feel like your smiles are sincere.
That's a first.
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations. Breaking news for April. And by the way, we do welcome all of our new listeners. Our drive time slot Wednesdays now.
Oh yeah, 3 o'clock.
3 p.m. on IndianaTalks.com. Also replayed at 9 p.m. on IndianaTalks.com. Podcasted there, as well as the We Are Libertarians radio network. Just promise you will not Vine with this guy.
Vine? We've vined. How have you not? We've vined a few times.
Vining, kind of thought that was our thing we did together.
Oh.
Well, we now have nothing, so congratulations. Next week it'll be his radio show. Congratulations. I'll hook the gear up and step out.
We've been vining since May.
Oh. Well, you've just announced that on radio. Hell.
That sounds so weird, doesn't it?
That's I kind of thought that was our thing. But
sorry.
Good luck. I'm happy for you and your Africa pants.
I vined with you first.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm always going to tell him. She was with me first on the Vine, buddy. Now he's a good guy.
Yes.
And good luck. I had an epic moment yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I've been thinking about it for a while. You know me, I'm a little slow on the trigger sometimes when it comes to technology.
Uh-huh.
I like to think about things long and hard. Sometimes it usually involves you having to scream at me for me to make an update.
Right.
But I did make a technological advance yesterday that has been about a month in the making.
Tell me more.
Boy, the enthusiasm in your voice was just rifling through that microphone. Wow. Bam. Got a new ringtone.
Oh, my gosh. People use ringtones still?
You don't have a ringtone? No one calls you. I bet you never talk on the phone. Like when I ask you to call me, it's like I just asked you to give blood.
Oh, I would rather give blood than talk on the phone.
Yeah, you're not much of a phone talker.
No.
What do you use, 3 minutes a month?
Roughly.
Yeah, you're a Twitterer /
I'm not even
Viner.
really a fan of texting either.
Yeah, you don't do that a whole lot either. April did insult I used an emoji earlier when we texted.
Well, I've never seen you use an emoji before.
Well, I'm branching out.
Well, good.
So yeah, I got a new ringtone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd had the same ringtone since I got my iPhone.
And it was like a public voting.
Yeah, I turn everything into a spectacle if you haven't figured
I've
that out
noticed,
yet.
yeah.
That's what makes life fun. Yeah, so I had the same ringtone since I got my iPhone 8 months ago, almost 9 months ago. It was Bruce Springsteen's No Surrender. And I thought, you know what? It's time. I'm getting tired of hearing that darn song every time my phone rings.
Uh-huh.
So I decided it was time for an upgrade. Had a very public voting process. Whittled that down.
Vetted all the songs.
We did, and we took everyone into consideration. Some of them are not available. So some people had some very good suggestions.
Where do you buy ringtones at nowadays?
Well, there's an iTunes store.
Oh, so you buy it off iTunes?
Yeah, it downloads right to your phone.
My phone's just always on vibrate, so otherwise I just use the default iPhone, Apple.
I feel like you're better than that, though. Like you deserve a ringtone.
Yeah, but then you hate the song after 30 days. You gotta buy.
But no
one
calls you, so what's the big deal?
Right. So 2 years from now, they're gonna be playing.
Well, you could update
Blurred Lines.
So we had a very thorough vetting process. I narrowed the list down to 4 songs based on the suggestions, and it was Hulk Hogan's Real American theme song.
Is it him singing?
No. You've never heard the Real American theme song? Like when he comes down to the ring to? Very famous song.
I mean, maybe I would recognize it if I heard it.
I am April now
Don't
disengaging
sing.
from the conversation. She's now checking out my IHOP coupons. Those are mine, by the way.
Look at those pancakes. Waffles.
You cannot. How about the waffle with legs?
Ugh.
Anyway,
waffle.
So I had it down to Hulk Hogan's Real American, the theme from Alf, the theme from Dallas, and Thunder Road by Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
We then took a little bit more voting, a little bit more influence, narrowed it down to 2, which was Hulk Hogan's Real American and Thunder Road. And the voting went back and forth. It was very passionate. Your brother and Part Doan decided that I should use Call Me Maybe. That did not make the finals.
That's a good one.
Can you imagine?
I
don't think that's a dude ringtone.
Ironically, I think it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
probably my brother's ringtone.
No.
I don't know. He probably just uses the regular ringtone too, but he loves that song.
Really?
It kind of sounded like it was Bart's ringtone.
This does not seem like something Josh would have on his phone.
He's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, so anyway.
Voting happened.
More
voting.
Narrowed it down to 2. And I struggled because it was kind of a tie. I mean, I wasn't doing an exact math. I was trying to get a vague idea. And it was kind of a tie. People were passionate on both sides. You know, hey, Rob, you love wrestling. Hey, Rob, you love Bruce Springsteen. Like, friends were sending me direct messages. Like, it became passionate. Ended up getting into a philosophical conversation with a beautiful girl for about 30 minutes over whether my life is passing me by. I mean, it spiraled out of control quickly.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's deep.
The ringtone thing took on a life of its own. And at the end of the day, I had to make a choice. I decided I just could not choose between both of my heroes because I felt like one.
So you should just gone something completely different.
Which is what I did.
Oh.
I began to search. I searched my soul. I searched the iTunes store, and I came up with something else from my childhood that I think was pretty cool. Do you want to call me? Do you want to hear it?
Should I call you? I'll call you on air.
Yeah, you can call me on air. April has my phone number because she's cool like that, and it's going to ring, and we're going to play it into the microphone here. In a second, I feel like, oh, here we go. Oh, hang on. Why is this not ringing?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yo, Joe! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's
Oh my
trouble.
gosh.
G.I. Joe is there.
That's so ridiculous.
G.I. Joe is there.
Oh, it just keeps going.
G.I. Joe against Cobra.
Yeah, they're so ridiculous. I want that to please start ringing during a town council meeting.
Isn't that great? The G.I. Joe cartoon theme. How awesome is that? That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do it right there. So the new Rob Kendall ringtone, the G.I. Joe cartoon theme. By the way, do you like the fact that your photo shows up on my phone and it's your footy?
I know, I noticed that. My hoodie footy. That's awesome.
So anyway,
That's really a great
you can
photo.
feel free to call me if you have my phone number. I love it. I love hearing my new ringtone. So call me anytime. You need to get more active on the telephone, by the way.
Me?
Yeah. I feel like you have a lot to offer from the telephone.
Well,
if you'll just embrace it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't like. What am I supposed to do with the telephone?
Hey, Rob, how's it going? Good, April.
Just
How are
call
you
you every day, check
That's
in.
what friends do.
All right.
Anyway, so there we go. That's the first completely non-interesting thing that happened to me this week. That's not like the highlight of my week. New ringtone.
Woo!
Ta-da! Okay, so did you watch the VMAs?
Oh my gosh, I did not watch it.
Did you watch it after? Were you snookered in?
I refused to watch the whole YouTube video. I didn't even go to YouTube. I did catch bits and pieces on, the Inside Edition or whatever those.
You watch Inside Edition?
Whatever those shows were. I caught them last night eating dinner.
Right.
So I was trying to avoid it, and it did not work that way.
Okay, so and everybody that's listening, of course, you're edgy if you're listening to us on the internet. You know what we're talking about. Miley Cyrus had a little bit of a display. She was a little crazy on the dance floor, wearing a slightly revealing outfit. What did you think?
Oh, it's just gross.
Oh, so you were not down with that?
No, absolutely not.
No, you were not impressed.
Not impressed.
Now, here's the thing. I feel like the guy that got out best was that Robin Thicke dude.
Yeah, he got away scot-free. That's the thing. Like that's like one of my biggest problems is this is Miley Cyrus. We know she's 20 and stupid. I don't want to say you expect her to act like this, and I don't justify. I think it was disgusting. But he's a almost 40-year-old married man.
Is he that old?
Yeah.
He is that old? Wow.
Well, I guess I could Google it.
He's pretty youthful for that. I thought he was maybe early 30s. I'd never even heard of this dude before this song came out. Is he famous?
He's Alan Thicke's son
I
from
know
Growing
that.
Pains.
Yeah, I understand, but
saying he's had like other songs before this, but this is definitely like the most popular song, and it's the song is his. He's singing it.
Right.
So this is supposed to be about him. He totally got upstaged.
Well, but he didn't because he's the dude grinding up against Miley Cyrus from behind.
Right.
He will now be that dude forever. That's him.
Yeah, but
because this song will be out of the lexicon.
But no one is talking about him or this song. They're talking about her.
Right, I understand. But what I'm saying is he got more out of being out there because that's the song she's moving around to. Mm-hmm. And he's the dude grinding up against Miley Cyrus. He'll be that guy forever.
No, but you're not going to remember who it was. You will always remember her doing this, but it'll probably be forgotten in a year or two who she was doing it with.
Right, but he will be forgotten in a few years anyway, and at least on some, best of VH1 thing in 10 years, he'll be popping back up. That guy comes off as a total skis ball, by the way.
But nobody's talking about that. Like, I feel like, this song, the song is about like a blurred line of consent.
Yes.
Of rape. Like, this is not a good song. I mean, and he's the one doing this too, but why is she getting all the attention for acting like this? And it's okay for him.
Well, here was my high level observation on this. And I am a little bit, even though I am almost 30, I'm a little bit more in tune to the younger generation. Artists, because everybody on Facebook was like making a big, huge deal out about it. Like, oh, I'm so disgusted, blah, blah, blah. Artists now, especially young artists, are brands. They're no longer like, for the most part, most of them. There are still a few that care. But for the most part, they're just simply brands. They're no different than Coke or Pepsi.
Right.
And if you are Miley Cyrus, your brand is 13 to 20 or 21-year-old.
Well, it was. Not anymore.
Well, they were eating it up. What do you mean? They were all about that.
Well, she's not Hannah Montana anymore, and she was totally...
But I'm saying she's still a young, good-looking artist who men, was at the time, it was women want to be her. Now it's men want to be with her, or men probably always wanted to be with her, whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's who she's branding herself to. And in terms of the branding, very successful. mission accomplished because they're not talking to us.
Well, I think that she needed to do this for her brand because nobody's talking about her. I mean, she's nothing right now. She's somewhere in the middle of being popular and being a has-been. Like, she's
right. So it's no
on
different
the
than
downswing.
when Britney kissed Madonna.
Right.
And I was talking to an older person the other day, older being late 50s. And this guy had a pretty good perspective. And he said, look, when I was a kid, everybody was mad because the Beatles grew their hair long. And then we started talking about different things over time. And I said, when I was in junior high, I loved Dennis Rodman. And my parents were just outraged that I loved Dennis Rodman. I had the Rodman shoes that tied from the side.
Uh-huh.
And there's just a progression in society.
Was your hair red and green and pink?
I did not have red and green hair.
Dang.
But I did love the Rodman. But there's just a progression. I think it's getting more over the top. I think Rodman is tame by today's standards.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same premise of youthful rebellion. Adults are always going to be outraged at what young people are doing. And again, it's just a branding exercise. All these people are doing are running her out there to sell product.
Well, and maybe the other side of it is maybe, okay, so Miley was just doing the brand. She was just getting publicity. Well, the other side of it is that MTV billed the show as, safe for 14 and over.
How do you bill a show?
Well, you know how shows are rated. Everything's rated nowadays.
Right.
So this was 14 and up.
Oh, okay. So
clearly this is nearly an X-rated performance, right?
Well,
not safe for. It's definitely double R.
I don't think there is a double R in the rating box, but well, here's the thing though. Everybody kept their clothes on.
Barely.
Hey, when you have a swimsuit,
so it's at least an R. It's definitely not a 14 and over thing.
Yeah, but you don't think let's be realistic. You don't think your average 14-year-old has been exposed to something that bad or worse on a quasi-regular basis?
I'm sure they have. But there needs to be, I mean, MTV should be, they still need to rate it right.
The idea that
the parents
the
are...
The idea that we even have ratings for television shows is quasi-ridiculous.
I agree.
I was not really, freaked out about it because to me it's it's just the natural progression.
It's just, I think you just expect it.
Right. And like I said, I felt this Robin Thicke guy who is, again, comes off as, looks like, is a total skeezer. Just gets out of this with hey, look at the cool guy that got to be behind Miley Cyrus.
And that's the exact stereotype of the men get away with this. The women don't. I mean, it's a complete double standard that we have in our society.
Now, to Robin Thicke's credit, he was not what do you call that? Victimize is not the right word, but he was not belittling himself in scantily clad dress or facial features that were leaving nothing to the imagination or jiggling or anything like that.
And I think that he didn't expect, from what I heard, he had the creative say-so in the performance, and because it was his song, so it was all kind of...
Right.
And apparently the dress rehearsal was not near this, so he maybe didn't know exactly how crazy it was going to get. Yeah,
but did you see the grin on the dude's face? He had the this is happening grin on his face.
Yeah. I think what she set out to do worked for her. I think it did not work for him. This was his song. She took the night.
Every guy that has been quasi-successful with women has had that grin on his face. The this is happening grin at some point. Not on national television.
Mm-hmm.
But that you see that smile and you go, yeah, that looks familiar. I mean,
and he's a married man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is how old is he? Did we find out?
He's 36.
Wow. See, he looks younger. I'm sure they probably dyes his hair or something.
Right.
Who knows?
Makeup on.
But the best quote I heard was Spangle puts on our good friend Chris Spangle puts on Facebook or Twitter. No, I was not one of the dancing bears. So I guess I wasn't as outraged as everybody else just because I would expect something like
right.
that.
I think
she kept all her clothes
on. I mean, there's always an outrageous MTV thing. It comes down to it. don't watch.
Right.
Unfortunately, if you're subscribed to cable, you're paying for it.
Right.
So I guess there can be outrage on that basis that you are actually paying for this filth.
Right. Well, but in a strange way, Miley Cyrus has always been that character, just not in that outfit. They've always sold her the sexual side of her on some level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when she was the
Well, she's gonna go the way of like Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes.
she could. Now the only difference is she is far better protected than they were because she comes from a family of influence and wealth and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think Lohan and those other losers, did not. So I think it's interesting how, like, quote unquote outraged people get. You're upset about this, but you don't care about what's going on in Washington?
Right.
No, none of these people that are posting about how outraged they're over this post about what's going on in Washington, the IRS stuff, the
or
spying
Syria
stuff.
right now.
Yeah, it's like, if you people cared enough about your government as you do what this idiot did.
Well, and the same thing, I saw somebody, or maybe it was on TMZ, they said Ben Affleck just sent Miley Cyrus the biggest flower bouquet ever, like taking it, because everybody was
Right.
outraged about the Ben Affleck Batman thing.
Right.
And,
Which you're killing my segue.
oh, sorry.
Real quick, one final thought, though. She did give a nice Rebel Yell performance, though, earlier in the evening. Rebel Yell, Billy Idol song from the 80s.
She sang that?
Uh-huh. She came out in her Billy Idol jacket, had the black jacket
So
with the
Miley
spikes on
performed
it.
twice?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
They couldn't have gotten anybody else to perform.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I didn't watch the thing. I just saw it on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't watch any of it.
Okay, so segue. The other big entertainment news, which I know is right up your alley, you were tweeting about this, I believe.
I did.
Ben Affleck named as the new Batman. I gathered you were happy with this.
I'm for this.
This does not seem like something you would support.
I mean, like I pointed out in my tweet, like George Clooney was my favorite Batman because I love George Clooney, and I think Ben Affleck's hot also. So I support this.
So that's how we judge our Batmans.
That's how I'm judging my Batmans.
So you're not.
That's all that matters.
So you're not. You were not a Bale. You didn't like Bale. You didn't think he was.
I mean, let's be real here. The Batman shows aren't ever like Oscar-worthy movies, right?
Right.
So just who cares? Like,
See, but I'm saying you're not attracted to Christian Bale. Then you didn't.
No.
You know that he's a very good-looking man.
not compared to Clooney or Affleck.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to know your types. I mean, I feel like sometimes we venture into the unknown. I would say that Christian Bale was the best Batman.
That's what everybody keeps saying.
Michael Keaton was the best Bruce Wayne. That's how I would score it.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, Clooney was probably in the worst Batman movie of all the Batmen.
Which was my favorite because Alicia Silverstone was in it.
And what was her name? What was her
She was
character?
Batgirl.
That's right. But who was Poison Ivy? There was somebody famous who was Poison
Uma
Ivy.
Thurman.
Uma Thurman. Oh, from all the Tarantino movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, including Kill Bill.
Mm-hmm.
But you're good with it. You are not sending letters. You're not.
I'm pro Ben Batman.
You are pro Batman.
Ben.
I just don't see him being Batman.
No, I don't see it either.
He kind of comes off as the sensitive type,
Yeah, I mean, it might be weird.
like the hug a child type.
Right.
And I don't see Batman being the hug a child type. I thought Bale really nailed the whole Batman thing. So you think it'll go forward? You don't think they're going to scrap it after all the protests that
No, they
they've
won't
had?
scrap it. It's good for its publicity.
Okay. I think he's not going to do so well. Now I hope they have a Robin this time because they kind of set it up at the end of the last one.
Oh, it could be Matt Damon. It could be Robin.
Well, they talked about that.
I mean, look, if the movie isn't going to be an Oscar blockbuster, I mean, you might as well just go
Why-
get your money.
So you want them to try to make it bad?
Just make it as cheesy as possible. People that watch Batman are going to go watch it.
I
You'll
just-
get the Affleck fan base in.
But what is Ben Affleck's fan base? I mean, this is not 1999.
Right.
Let's face it. In a post-Geely world,
Well, he made what was that movie last year that won all those awards?
even a blind squirrel finds an acorn occasionally.
I'm just saying, he's not like a nobody.
Right. No, I do not begrudge your enthusiasm for Ben Affleck. So please don't ever think that I'm trying to take
Argo, that one.
away from what matters to you.
Argo, The Town, Good Will Hunting. He's got some good ones.
Yeah. He's a rock star. This is the Rob Kendall Show. That's my name, joined by the lovely April D. Gregory. We are about 25 minutes into our program. If you've missed us, don't forget we will be podcast on IndianaTalks.com.
Whoa, his full name is Benjamin Geza Affleck Bolt.
I wonder if he's related to our friend Rick Bolt.
This Bolt has a D.
Oh. B-O-L-D-T?
Mm-hmm.
Bolted it?
That's such a weird name. What kind of name is Geza? That's his middle name.
I don't know.
And then Affleck Bolt is hyphenated.
I bet if you scroll through that Wikipedia long enough, you'll find it. Because it's all on Wikipedia.
It is.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No. Ladies first.
See, look at that.
I see the photo there that you're showing me. What is the...
Now
what...
picture a bat eyes. I mean, all I gotta look at is this chin.
April covering up the eyes, trying to... am I supposed to be charmed by this?
Cover up the middle there.
Yeah, let's just cover his whole face. He'll be fine.
And then the chin sticking out.
I just don't feel like he has the intensity for Batman. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's a little cheesy, but I like it.
If you missed our first 25 minutes, as I said, we are a podcast here on IndianaTalks.com. Also on the We Are Libertarians radio network. We've had an exciting first half hour or so of the show. We've talked about April's love life. Everybody will be rewinding to find that part.
Nobody wants to hear about that.
We've talked about...
maybe his mom listens.
My ringtone. There is no love life. We recant the statement. There's merely friendship. April's intense friendship. We've talked about my ringtone. We've talked about the progression of Robin Thicke. I think Alan Thicke is proud of Robin Thicke.
Yeah, good question.
I mean, because he's kind of famous now.
Because Alan Thicke, you would think was like I wonder what he's up to. But
yeah,
you would think he's like a good, wholesome dude.
Yeah, but so was Bob Saget.
Yeah, you would think that too.
So,
I guess
they don't buy into
true.
that. Yeah, no.
But Alan Thicke spent all those years with Kirk Cameron. You know, Kirk Cameron's such a good dude.
Well, yeah, he's no Jodie Sweetin, so you'd hope the influence rubbed off on him.
Oh wait.
And then we just weighed in on the Ben as Batman saga. Yes, I feel like
Alan Thicke used to sing too.
Yes, you didn't know this?
Oh.
Welcome to the party. It's
Who
nice
knew?
to. It's nice to.
And he's a Canadian.
Hi. Hello. It's nice to see you today. Where have you been the past 31 years?
Man.
So I had something interesting happen to me today.
Really?
I have more pull than I thought. That's amazing. I'm amazed sometimes at the amount of juice I still have left in the tank.
Uh-huh.
As many of our audience know, I spent some time in North Carolina on radio down there, and I was on the big FM talk station down in southeastern North Carolina. Kind of you would equivalent it sort of maybe to our WIBC here in Indianapolis. Boy, you are looking at that intensely. Like
He's had a lot of wives.
Who, Alan Thicke or Robin Thicke?
Alan.
Well, that could explain Robin Thicke's lack of moral clarity.
Could be.
Maybe, how many wives has he had? Do you have any idea? Are you counting?
3. Maybe he's still on 3.
He's on. Okay. Well, that's not so bad.
He might still be on 3.
All right. Anyway.
So
I was on the station was called The Big Talker.
Yes.
Down in southeastern North Carolina.
You were the Big Talker.
I was the Big Talker, and I became friends with all the political players down there. Like I told our audience, if you were to picture your equivalent, it'd be like WIBC up here. So it was kind of a big deal. I was the morning show host on the station. So you were
like Garrison.
I was like a more enthusiastic version of Garrison, yes. Minus, I didn't talk a lot of politics on a political station. Part of why I'm not working there anymore.
That's kind of like what we're doing now.
Right. I wanted to do this sort of show because it was successful.
Right.
They wanted me to be a firebrand political soothsayer.
And that just gets so boring.
It does. It's incredibly boring. And I like Democrats as people. That was another downfall that I had.
Oh.
Actually, write about this. A great opportunity to plug the book. My book, Path Less Traveled. Find it on Amazon.com. Whole first chapter about time of the Big Talker. Anyway, one of the people I became friends with down there was the congressman. His name was Mike McIntyre. He is a Democrat, but a very conservative Democrat. One of the things you'll find in the South is oftentimes the Democrats are more conservative than the Republicans.
Right.
Mike's a good guy. Often votes with the Republicans. Anyway, kind of became buddies. And he would come on the show. We'd talk, whatever. Had a friend that had a request, was having an issue, called me from down there, said, hey, I need to get a hold of Mike. I said, well, could you be a little more clear? You can't just get a hold of Mike. And the person went through their issue, and I said, okay, I will send an email to Mike's staff. I still know some people that work over there. I'll be happy to fill that out for you and try to get you a return phone call. Sent the email. Within 3 minutes, I had a phone call. That's response time.
Wow.
That's big.
From a congressional office.
Yeah. Boom.
That is impressive.
I don't know whether they maybe think I'm still the big talker.
They got to keep you happy.
I don't know. But anyway, kudos. See, that's what a congressman's office should do right there. They called me. I relayed the issue. They called the person in question. They talked to him. And I believe they're working towards a solution to this person's problem.
Wow.
So I did want to give some kudos out there to, this will entice John Easter to listen. I'm being nice to Democrats. Kudos to the office of Congressman Mike McIntyre, one of the real good guys in Congress. Do you think I'm too nice with Democrats? Do you think I play too friendly in the Democrat sandbox?
No, there's
okay.
no...
Because some people I think maybe think that. I believe you should just be friendly with everyone.
Right. There's no harm with being friendly with people. Obviously, that doesn't mean you're voting Democrat. I mean, some people get all up in arms. But be friends with everybody.
Right. That's what I try to do. I had a missed call from you. Oh, that's when you called me.
You remember? Hi. You're so ridiculous.
Hello. Okay, so we try to usually do at least one legit news story and something that's political on this show, since most of the Indiana Talk stuff is political. I feel like we don't do enough about this. Did you see this Cory Booker thing that he came out with, where everybody's on the gay kick now?
It's a big popular thing right now.
Right. For like we said, the 3.5% to 4% of the world that's gay. Everyone's
yeah,
on
that
the
one
gay
time
kick.
we did all the math.
Yeah, remember we did that on the show? We did some rough calculations. Here's the thing. And I'm talking about this because we actually talked. Gary Snyder had me on his show last Wednesday on the roundtable. And this was when this new organization was formed. They hired this new female director here in Indiana to try to push forward block the marriage amendment thing that they're talking about doing.
Mm-hmm.
I've slept since then. Brain's a little foggy. Anyway, one of the issues on the roundtable was two guys that supported the idea of gay marriage. And the issue I had was, why do we keep talking about this? The worst that can happen, it'll go to referendum, vote it down, and move on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about any of the issues that matter. Jobs, economy.
No, it's just a complete distraction that the Democrats like to.
Right. So, that's what I'm saying. Like gay is the new in thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Cory Booker, by the way, this article is from livewire.talkingpointsmemo.com.
Cory Booker is the mayor of Newark,
yes,
right?
Who's running in the Senate
campaign
for the Frank Lautenberg seat, who passed away.
Right.
And they're trying to paint Booker as the next Obama.
They're trying to paint him as sort of more middle of the road,
right?
Moderate.
But it's pretty clear how. They did that with Obama too.
Right.
So Booker now is exploiting the gay thing, and like I said, if I would feel very used if I were gay.
It's so funny how conservatives get labeled all we care about is social issues, blah, 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 when it's always Democrats bringing up. I mean, here, we want to talk about the economy and jobs, right? And they keep bringing up gay and the whole abortion thing. And it's just
Right, because on this roundtable thing the other day, the guys were going, well, you guys were using that to get elected for years. Kids, I was a freshman in college when these elections were going on. I didn't use anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't affect what people did in the past or the way the country believed in the past or whatever else. I said, I'm not even going to give you my opinion on this because it doesn't matter. We shouldn't be talking about it. If the governor decides he wants to move forward with the marriage amendment, it will go to a vote and people will vote it up or vote it down.
Right.
You know, Democrats always try to do this thing like, we're warning you in your own best interest. Well, when did you become such a fan of Republicans that you want to warn us what's in our best interest? You know, I said, hey, whether you like the governor or not, you should admire his consistency on this because he's always felt this way. He's always talked about it. He ran on it. And it'll be, if it goes to an amendment, it'll be voted up or voted down, and we will move on to the next topic. Anyway, in a wide-ranging interview with the Washington Post published Monday, Newark Mayor Cory Booker said that his failure to settle down with a, quote, life partner by this stage in his career has led to speculation that he may be gay.
Speculation that Corey may be
Yes.
gay? Who cares?
The U.S. Senate hopeful recounted to the Post that early on in his time in the mayor's office, he sought out a friend who was a pastor to share his feelings about the rising murder rate in Newark. Booker expected to receive spiritual advice, but instead was told, quote, you need to get married. The article goes on.
A lot of people think that's a prerequisite for running for office.
And this is the quote then that caught everybody's attention. Booker said, quote, because how unfair is it to a young lady, he's talking about not wanting to date, about dating women when you're in the political spotlight. That's how this quote starts, what he's talking about. It says, because how unfair is it to a young lady to put them in the spotlight if they haven't signed up for that yet, Booker said. And people who think I'm gay, some part of me thinks it's wonderful because I want to challenge people on their homophobia. I love seeing on Twitter when someone says I'm gay and I say, so what does it matter if I am? So be it. I hope you're not voting for me because you're making the presumption I am straight. That was the quote. And this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit because just because someone may allege you're gay, again, I agree with him. What difference does it make? But why are you making it an issue?
Mm-hmm.
You have now made it an issue. I believe New Jersey has gay marriage, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
I think they do. So why is it an issue? And that's my point, is I feel like people are now exploiting the gay thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Gays are totally being used.
And I feel like a lot of these folks so badly want to believe in this idea that they're willing to be exploited. The same way as immigrants are being exploited, the same way as for 50 years African Americans have been exploited. I just feel like it's the continual victimization and then into exploitation of voting blocks to cobble together a majority. And as you look at our country going forward, unless we are willing and able to see past people's differences, and here's what I said to these guys on the radio show. I said, look, my view of what people's rights are should not be tied to my view of marriage. Because I believe if you're gay and you want to live with somebody and you want to share your stuff with them and you want to leave your stuff to them and you want to be in a loving relationship, that's okay. But things have meaning. Items have meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And for thousands of years, marriage has meant between a man and a woman. The same way as an apple is an apple, and an orange is an orange, and a duck is a duck. You don't point at a duck and say that's an apple.
Right.
You point at an apple and say that's an apple. So marriage is something between a man and a woman. That doesn't mean I'm homophobic. It doesn't mean I hate gays. It doesn't mean I don't think they should have the same abilities to do things.
Right. I don't think they get to just change the definition of marriage to what they want it to.
And that is my concern, that this is where we've entered into the public discourse, is if you disagree with the idea of marriage and you support marriage as being traditional marriage, then you're homophobic or you hate gay people.
Or you're a bigot, yes.
And I will assure you, I am neither of those. But I will not change my view on the idea that words have meaning just because I'm worried about somebody calling me a bigot or a homophobe.
Mm-hmm.
So
it looks like gay marriage is not legal in New Jersey yet.
It's not. Okay, very good. I'm sure Chris Christie is working on that feverishly as he solidifies his Democrat Party credentials.
Yes.
It'd be crazy if he switched to Democrat and ran for president as a Democrat. Wouldn't that be nutso?
It would be.
I could see it happening, though. Because think about it, if Clinton doesn't get in, who's the leader in the clubhouse?
Well, Booker.
Well, he wouldn't be the leader to run for president. You got, Cuomo,
I
feel like you need
a
to
lot of
brush
people
up on
like
your
Booker.
Democrat. You got Biden.
No, I'm saying a lot of people like Booker.
Well, okay, all right.
And what? He's got
That's
less
true.
experience. He has more experience than Obama had.
That's
Let's
true.
put it there.
That's true. Yes, he has more executive. Okay, but I'm saying, I mean, I don't think it'd be outlandish. Think of the idea
For
that,
him to switch.
yeah, absolutely. But I don't know.
A lot of people think he's should be the Republican.
Right,
I heard somebody.
Christie.
Yeah, I heard somebody.
Yeah, those people will not be in the Republican Party much longer.
I heard some people compare him to Mitch Daniels, and I thought, oh no.
Anybody we know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it on air though.
Oh, okay. You know, I don't think I think there's some distinct differences.
I think so too.
And maybe they may be saying that because Mitch Daniels, of course, had the infamous declaration of swearing off the social issues, which is okay, and I'm all right with that because you know what, in Indiana, gay marriage is not legal. But we don't need I'm not sure we need a constitutional amendment to reinforce that.
Mm-hmm.
The law is the law, and until someone threatens overturning the law, then let's just leave things how they are. I also am not sure I buy into that argument that, oh, well, Lilly and all these companies are hurting so bad because gay marriage is not legal in the state of Indiana.
No.
I mean, I've seen several articles pop up with that.
Yeah.
A lot of them posted by people that I have respect for.
Well, the new Freedom Indiana campaign, or
That's
whatever.
who it was.
Yeah.
That's who.
They were talking about. Well, they had the, Lilly and all the other companies represented at their kickoff the other day.
And again, I always ask people to try to think through things rationally. And remember how we did this with the Jason Collins thing when we worked our way backwards. I'm not. We were kind of laughing about it at the time, but I think we came up with a pretty fair synopsis of what percentage of the people actually care about this story. And I think we narrowed it down to 0.75% of the population or something ridiculous. Let's again try to think through it rationally. If we accept, and again, I'm not saying I'm an expert on this number, but these are the last numbers I remember seeing. Maybe 3 to 4% of the population defines themselves as being homosexual. Okay, so you got 3 or 4% of the population to actually start with. What percentage of those people have the experience necessary to work at an Eli Lilly or a Cummins?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let's just say it's 25%, because you got to have a pretty darn good education to be able to do that. I certainly couldn't do it. So, okay, 25% of 4% is 1%. Okay, so 1% of the population, and I think that's high, because again, I don't think 25% of the general population is qualified to work at a Cummins or an Eli Lilly.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just aim high and say it's 25% of 1%, or 4%, which is 1%. All right, so we're talking about 1% of the population pool. What percentage of those people is going to turn down a good, quality, sustainable, paying job because
they can't get married here?
They can't get married here. You can still live together. You can still, share all the same rights, if you can't call it marriage. Let's say it's 50% of the 1%. I think that's high.
That's a little high, but yeah.
Well, we want to err on the side of caution here. And again, we're not trying to be ridiculous here. We're just trying to put things in perspective,
right,
to show the hoopla and frenzy over what a small portion of the population this actually impacts. So 50% of 1% is 0.5%. So we've created this big, huge hoopla and would consider changing everything about our state for what could be 0.5% of the population. And that is a microcosm of the problem with government. The majority is forced to suffer for the vocal minority. Again, if people that are gay want to live together, they want to share a life together, they want to have a loving relationship, they want to will their stuff, they want to visit each other in a hospital, I have no problem with any of this, and they should have those rights.
And Lilly can give them their same-sex partner benefits, whatever.
No one's holding a gun to their head. But marriage, it's a diversion tactic. Look over here while the hand over here is doing the damage. And marriage, for all these years, society's worked out pretty good. It certainly had its flaws. It certainly had its down moments. Has been between a man and a woman. And when we start changing the culture, And I'm not trying to equate what we were talking about earlier with gay marriage, but we keep messing with our culture. And I think that's part of the reason we see the slides and the changes and the apathy we do. Because I had a conversation yesterday with a younger person. He's 21, lives here in Brownsburg, and he was talking about things that are happening in town. And one of the issues we started talking about was apathy amongst younger people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a lot of younger people to vote for me when I ran for office. And my message to them was, if you don't stay involved, I appreciate your vote. It will help me. But you're doing yourself a disservice if you get involved for a day.
Right.
Well, what happened was, of all those people, maybe 3 or 4 of them have hung around actively taking an interest.
Uh-huh.
And so the apathy of what these young people want, or because of their apathy, these things these young people said they want, it's harder to impact because the older voting bloc doesn't believe these people exist. You know?
Well, because they're just not actively there.
So I think part of the issue is we have created such an apathy in our culture that the vocal minority is able to impact a lot of their will on the apathetic majority. And maybe that the fault lies in the apathetic majority. So
yeah.
Anyway, didn't mean to get on a long, drawn-out thing about it. I just thought it was an interesting conversation. I really feel like these guys are milking now. You know, it was an immigrant thing a while ago. Now it's the homosexuals. They're getting milked. They're getting hoodwinked. They're getting lied to for people's political benefit.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's all diversions.
Whatever happens, just no more equal signs on your profile.
Right,
photos.
please. The interesting thing about the Freedom Indiana campaign is like they're fighting the marriage amendment.
That doesn't exist.
They're fighting they want it to not happen.
Right.
But it's like, okay, so it doesn't happen. It's still illegal in Indiana. So you're fighting an amendment that even if it doesn't
illegal.
happen and you win,
it's still illegal.
It's still illegal to get married in
Yes.
Indiana, with or without this amendment.
Right.
So it's kind of like, why aren't you actively working to overturn the actual...
Right. And some of the people that I see that are so into it are smart people. One of the guys that really caught my eye that was posting about it was Abdul, and we love Abdul. But it's like, you're getting suckered into this too, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, this is a non-issue because, as you said, you just hit the nail on the head, which is even if you block the amendment, which I'm not weighing in on how I would vote on that amendment. I think I made it clear earlier that I think the current law we have is sufficient. I would have to read the whole thing before I decide how I would vote on it. But my view on gay marriage is still not going to change, and it doesn't mean I think you are any less of a person. It just simply means, as we said, an elevator is an elevator. You know, you don't.
Back to the apathy thing. It's like people get outraged about these certain pet issues.
Yeah.
And they just don't care about anything else, and they don't get involved, and they don't do anything to actually influence.
Right. Well, and that's what we talked about.
It's just popular. So let's put an equal sign up. Well, that's not getting anything done.
Yeah, I think it was our man Kip 2 was on that panel with me, and he was going back and forth about it, and he was talking about all these people, the enthusiasm they had for Obama is going to come back. And I said, if your premise of trying to push some sort of gay marriage thing is that you're going to look to Barack Obama and his people to win, I said, you're going to fail miserably in this state. I mean, the fact that the only thing young people apparently care about is a non-existent marriage amendment, that's pretty sad. Because governments, the state, local, federal level, are doing things every day that far more dramatically impact your life. Again, if you are a straight human being, this one way or another has no impact on you. So you're not enthusiastic about the issues that do directly impact you. School funding, infrastructure, jobs, the economy, taxes. You don't care about those, but you will go to the ends of the earth for a non-existent amendment that doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
I could see if you are a homosexual person being enthusiastic about this.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as we said, that's a very small percentage of our population. And you are not treating someone like they're less of a person if you say that marriage has always meant something and our words have meaning in our American vocabulary or the English language. So anyway, this is the Rob Kendall Show. Still got about 10 minutes left to go on our program today. Do want to remind everybody, I have this New Voice for Politics column coming out. They have a newsletter getting ready to come out here real soon. You can subscribe to my, you read my writing if you subscribe to the newsletter, totally free, no charge. They just send it right to your email inbox. It's newvoiceforpolitics.com. I got my first column coming out there real soon, and it's about what younger candidates can do to make themselves more viable to older voters. So that's what the column is about. So if you're a younger person, might be a good read. Younger person considering running for office might be a good read. Or if you're just like me or bored. All reasons to read my column.
Right.
I know you'll be reading.
Of course.
You'll be scrolling.
Tweet the link.
Yes, absolutely. So that'll be coming out soon. newvoiceforpolitics.com. 9 minutes left to go in the show today. We want to thank everybody for listening. Don't forget, we are available after our program airs. We replay at 9 o'clock on indianatalks.com. If you're listening on the drive, if you're listening at 9, you're listening to our replay. It doesn't make you any less special. And then we are podcast on the Indiana Talks website, and we are also made available on the We Are Libertarians radio network.
There's a last week I was trying to listen at 3 o'clock from my iPhone.
Yeah.
And I had to download this TuneIn Radio app.
Yeah.
So I could listen.
Yeah. TuneIn Radio is great.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would, if you do have a smartphone, you would want to download the TuneIn Radio app, which will allow you to listen on your iPhone or Mac, Apple device, or smartphone.
I'll have to tell my mom.
Yeah, absolutely. We are now able to be heard. Ooh,
speaking of.
Are you listening to the station?
Woo. Yeah, all right, turn that off.
You have so many more, what do they call those things? What do they call the little icons? Is that what they're called?
Apps.
Apps. You have more apps than me, like a lot more.
Maybe. I just put them all on one page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're kind of scrunched in there together.
Yeah. I just like to have one page of things.
Huh. Well, that's cool. I mean, I just think it would be kind of hard to see the actual app itself.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you don't use all these apps that often. Like the ones I use often enough or all the time are right by my thumb.
Right.
Everything else you use once a week, if that.
Yeah.
They can just all be scrunched together in general categories.
I'll tell you what, the iPhone really changed my life. I'm glad you finally convinced me to get one last year.
I'm a positive influence.
Well, I think I'm better off because I've had this this app or this iPhone and the apps that come along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but anyway, you can check us out, tune us in, and the podcasts are available completely free. And give a listen to our friends at the We Are Libertarians radio network. Those guys do a great job. They're big fans of yours.
Yeah, I listened to the show last week or whenever.
Quite comical. I did you well.
You and Spangle and those
Ruiz
guys.
and Ryan Ripley, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did you well. I felt like I really painted you in a positive way.
You could have talked about me for longer.
Like first 10 minutes, I get in there.
Just kidding.
They have this show called The Shill Report. I'm sure most of our Indiana Talks fans are familiar with it. But we start the interview and these guys are talking and bam! 2 minutes in. Talking about April D. Really? Why don't you get her on the show? Because it'd probably have more fun. The best part is, like, apparently there's a video of this somewhere. Like, they video blog it. They video record it.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know exactly how you get to that. I've just heard the audio recording. And it's like...
Do they just put it on YouTube?
Maybe that's where they do. Yeah, it could be. I need to look that up and link it out.
We can video ourselves while we're recording.
We've been talking about this for a while. You were big on...
Oh, yeah, it requires me putting makeup on.
Yeah. Well, it does not require you putting makeup on. You believe it requires you to put makeup on.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, you can see all the guys on the little screens because he did this on this Google chat thingy.
Yeah.
And
Hangout.
Yeah, Google Hangout. Yes, correct. Thank you. You're always on the cutting edge of technology. They just showed me how to log into it. I'm here, fellas. And you can see Spangle. And the best part is Spangle's like on his couch. So like you see this cat.
Aw, Mittens.
That just keeps walking back and forth across his like behind him the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Spangle's almost like a cartoon character. I feel like we could write a book about Spangle or something.
I think so.
I don't know. High school football season is upon us. Wanted to remind everybody that we are providing high school football broadcasts for the Indiana Talks website Friday nights. They're using the Audio Sports Online football games. So
Oh,
if
cool.
you want to check out some high school football, we've got that for you as well. So a little local plug for that. Also wanted to congratulate our friend Dwayne on his first week in office.
Ooh, he's succeeded. Did you see his tweet? He locked himself
Yes.
out of. Dwayne, put a key under the mat the next time.
But you would think they would have like sliders or something, like those-
No, the actual the actual doors in the state house are those wooden, old school. You have a key. It's
You think somebody would make an
heavy,
upgrade?
sturdy. There's no sliding.
You think the Gov would be like time for an upgrade?
Like the internal offices, have the little pass,
Right.
but like,
Right.
downstairs in the centers. But
My favorite thing was flyer comes out last week. And I get my flyer and I open it up, start looking at it, and they got a big article about Dwayne in there. But the title says Brownsburg man sworn in as new state auditor. And I'm like, the guy has this amazing accomplishment, and his title is Brownsburg man. Not Sawyer sworn in as new state auditor.
right,
President of Brownsburg Town Council sworn in as state auditor.
Brownsburg man. Like it's
Brownsburg
just
man.
some random guy from Brownsburg.
Well, usually you see Brownsburg man arrested for theft.
right.
Brownsburg man hit by moving bus. This is Brownsburg man, now 5th highest ranking official in our entire state. Brownsburg man sworn in as state auditor. So I put that on Facebook and Twitter that Dwayne would forever be referred to moving forward as Brownsburg man.
That's so funny.
We love Dwayne.
We do.
We're happy for Dwayne. Hope he's having fun in his new career. April and I were kidding before the. Do you ever Google yourself?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like you have no shame in admitting that.
No. It's a necessary. You need to.
Yeah.
You need to Google yourself to know what's.
I don't do it a whole lot, but I did today, and I got to about the 3rd page, and there was an article about Dwayne getting sworn in, and my name popped up in one of the comments, so I thought that was pretty funny. So I shouldn't feel vain when I Google myself, right? I'm doing some sort of valid research. Right.
No. I mean,
You're
it's
supporting
good.
me.
You need to know. Well, and it can help you with your SEO. Like you need to see when you put in your name. Do you come up first when you put in your name? Like if not, things like that.
What's an SEO?
Search engine optimization.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about this more.
Okay. All right.
We'll get you up to speed.
I need a better SEO. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, you need to make sure that what's popping up when you're Googled,
Okay.
is it what you want to be
Right.
popping
And
up?
I can fix that?
Yeah,
Okay. I can rig the system.
you can.
Well, that's cool. You can teach me how to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I want to rig the game.
Well, you got to rig it in your favor. Yeah.
Well, I understand.
yeah.
So anyway, good show this week. I'm very impressed with the way it all turned out.
I'm not feeling very well, so maybe I wasn't very good this week. I don't know.
You
I
look
can't
excited.
think straight.
Yeah, you have a head cold or something, right?
Yeah.
But you were chasing your nephew around the block with a plastic lawnmower.
Well, nephews don't really. If you're sick, they don't really care.
Right, right.
You still have to play with them.
And Balin was like, "I'm going to cut the grass."
His thing is like he has these 2 plastic lawnmowers,
Right.
and you have to hope he gets out of the house with just one. Otherwise, wherever you're going, you're both
Pushing a lawnmower.
you're both pushing a lawnmower.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just him
Right.
because he loves to cut the grass. Like
I feel like it's going to come in handy for Josh in about 7 or 8 years.
yeah.
Because I could definitely see Josh being that father with a beer in his hand, ordering his son to get out there and work.
Yeah. So if he sticks with liking to mow the lawn,
Could be a career.
lawnmower.
Hey, pays good money. Anyway. All right. Well, I would ask you for closing thoughts, but then you'd give me a very evil look and tell me that I always ask you to do this and it makes you uncomfortable. So I won't ask you for any closing thoughts or to say hello to anyone. But I would like to say hi to a few people on your behalf, if that's okay.
Okay.
I want to say hi to April's mom, Josh, Megan, baby
Megan's
brother.
birthday.
Megan's
It
birthday
was
was
Megan's
yesterday.
birthday. Yeah.
Did you do anything for Megan's birthday? Josh's wife, for our
Josh's
listening
wife.
audience.
We went out
sister-in-law.
we went to lunch and we had pie. She wanted pie, so we had that.
Right. And because she's an educator, so Pi Day, that would make sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. April's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi.
April's boyfriend's mother. Hi. Nice to meet you too. And I would like to thank all of our wonderful listeners, including the great Merlin Yoda.
Merlin Yoda.
We love Merlin Yoda. All right, for the lovely April D. Gregory, I'm Rob Kendall. You've been listening to The Rob Kendall Show.